Hey, Chris.
Hey, Kurt.
Hey, this last week, we got to help out some leaders in a local community learn how to live fully and lead
Mm,
authentically.
We did.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live Fully, Lead Authentically, a Brimstone coaching podcast. Once again, Chris, it's good to see you this fine morning.
Yeah, it's good to be seen.
Yeah, thanks for doing this with me. As I said at the very beginning, we got to spend some time with some leaders. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah. Sort of a, I don't want to say an unexpected time, but a unique leadership setting in one of our
Mhm.
communities that we have a relationship with. There's a small town, you know it well, Chris, called
hmm
Rock Valley.
hmm
And this community, like many communities, they are really trying to invest in the leaders of their community and future leaders of their
Yeah.
community. And they do that through a thing they call the Leadership Institute. And that is what is that? Is that a 9 month program? Do you remember? It's
Yeah,
not
I
a whole
think that's
year,
right.
right?
Yeah. No, not a whole year.
Yeah, it's a 9 month program where companies, local companies and employers will identify leaders in their organization or future leaders or individuals that show some leadership potential. That they will send those folks to this leadership institute. And over the course of 9 months, the city just pours into them and helps them grow what's been identified already in them, or what they're already doing helps them continue to kind of bolster up their leadership. And they do this in a number of kind of fun ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's really, I don't know, it's on the cutting edge. It's on the front lines of really helping to form and shape people. Like people aren't just brains on a stick who are doing a thing. And I think for uh, leaders and emerging leaders, the the great thing is that my employer cares not just about me, but about my development.
Yeah.
Right. So when they pay me to be gone for an entire day
Hmm.
once a month for 9 months so that I can be poured into, I can learn and grow in my own leadership. Yeah, I mean, I think there's all kinds of fun ways. Like probably the most fun way is that they had us there.
Well, it was certainly the most fun for me.
Well, fair, same, both of us. It was a great day. It was a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, there is something of a shift there. I mean, it's been a while since I've been in the sort of corporate leadership development world,
hmm
but I do distinctly remember, the questions of, the questions of risk when you start to develop people and invest in people, the risk of, well, what if they leave? Or
Yeah, right,
what if we invest this time and money and energy into investing in these people just so they can go find a higher paying job down the street or whatever that
right.
is. And I do sense that's shifting quite a bit.
hmm
But it's fun to see in that room that shift kind of in human flesh,
Yeah.
to get to see not just organizations in the city make that shift, but these individuals too realize, oh, I'm a leader. Like I've been identified as a leader.
hmm
And it's really fun to hear. I mean, I don't know, again, I don't know what other communities do, but it's really fun to hear our folks at Rock Valley talk about how they take a tour of the city and they learn sort of the infrastructure of how a city operates and how a municipality operates. And they'll tour different sorts of organizations throughout the time. And they also learn, I should have looked up the official name, but they learn about their sort of personality colors. Do you remember what this program is called? Um,
No.
yeah, it's one of these programs that helps them kind of
hmm
understand their patterns of being, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, and I think that just that with the work that we got invited to do with them, it just kind of rounds everything out so well.
Yeah. And I think that that's for me where that's the beauty of what they and other communities are doing, where they're creating these leadership institutes or opportunities for, where You're not a mega corporation with
Yeah.
your own like robust HR and leadership development pipelines. Here's a way that we can do this, and the local city leaders are running this kind of thing. But the fear of people leaving or whatever, like when I think when leaders invest in other leaders and emerging leaders in the ways that happened, at least in this like first day for this cohort, the world is going to be a better place
Yeah.
as they understand their superpowers,
Yeah.
their own communication styles and preferences, their strengths, their weaknesses, things like that. And then when they hear the things that we bring to the table, that might actually enable them to uh, it, exercise the habits of highly effective leaders when you
Yeah. Yeah.
understand who you are and why you do what you do, or why you don't do what you don't do when you don't do it. Uh, the world is going to be a better place. And so, like, bravo to these places and these entities that are investing into leaders and those who are on the cutting edge of becoming like the next iteration of leadership.
Yeah. Yeah. You sort of dipped a toe into a question I was going to ask you, but I'm going to ask
Mm,
it anyway.
okay.
Um, I love the way. Okay.
Well, I don't know where we're going.
If
Hang
you
on.
must. Yeah,
Buckle up,
buckle
listener.
up. Yeah. So I mean, you did mention the seven effective habits, or I don't remember the number, but they are engaging in some of that work too. This
Hmm.
sort of John Maxwell-esque work of these habits that leaders can employ. Um, you talked about the importance of pairing that with the work that we invited them to do, and that sort of makes this kind of rounded leadership experience for them
Hmm.
to learn and grow. Why is it so important? Like what if I'm a listener right now thinking, just give me that book, just give me the
Yeah.
however many effective habits of an effective leader. Let me know what color I am so I know how to interact with my coworker.
Yeah.
Just give me those things. Why do I need whatever the heck we're doing with these folks?
Are you doing them?
It's a good question.
That's why it matters. Right. The premise that, okay, give me more and more information, and then I'll be highly effective. Well, I- I've read most of those books. I've done most of those processes or those ways of being. And what was true for me, what was true for you, is that we weren't much more effective. We just had
Yeah.
more information.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
fair.
the information is solid. I mean, don't
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing uh, the seven habits of highly effective leaders. I'm not criticizing the any personality profile, any of those kinds of things, right? This is all useful information.
Yeah. Yeah. Pieces of a puzzle, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like until we have some self-knowledge or some awareness that we have of ourselves by way of self-discovery, we won't engage those things because there are reasons that we haven't.
Yeah.
And so, like when we meet with a group and we talk to them about anxiety and how we experience it, how it's present everywhere, and like you see the light bulbs go on, it's like, oh, it's okay that I have an anxious response, but why
Yeah.
do I have anxious responses? And is there another way, or are there other ways that I can and would like to show up in the world?
Yeah.
Yes. And then when we can talk to them
Yeah.
about the power of promises that we made to ourselves in our first formation, and how they show up in the world still today, 10, 20, 50 years later, uh,
Yeah.
and that it can be dealt with, like that this work sets people up to be able to actually engage in these habits of highly effective leaders and other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it even, I mean, it extends so far beyond these habits, right? I mean, I
Hmm.
think you're 100% right. We always talk about how um th those are important pieces of the puzzle as long as we can do them fully and do them authentically and do them without hiding, right?
Yeah.
The work we invite people to do is actually the work that's undermining their ability to be highly
Yes.
influential and highly effective, right? Um, and that's all true. And then I think about, the constant, like in leadership, the constant challenges that come up every single day that are going to require me to know how I show up, to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, to know that I get to choose in that moment what's so for me
Mm,
and how I want to be. Yeah, I think you're spot on, Chris. It is part of that puzzle, and then it just goes so much further.
yeah, it sure does. Yeah, what would you say to your own question? Why is it so important?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to use an analogy that may or may not work. Uh,
I
it's
like that. I love
real
it.
time. You know this, maybe the
Hmm.
listener does not know this, but I for a season really loved mountain biking. Did a lot of mountain biking. I've not done a lot of mountain biking since living in the flatlands.
Mm,
So I haven't done a lot lately, but I used to do a lot of mountain biking. And when I first got into mountain biking, um, I had a mountain bike that I bought from Dick's Sporting Goods, right? And I took it on the trail and I bent a rim, right? The spokes
mm,
bent. It just was not meant to do what I was asking it to do, right? So I fixed the wheel or got a new, I don't remember if I fixed it or got a new one and bent a second one, right?
ah,
Um, so then I thought, well, I really like this and I want to keep going and I want to get deeper into the sport, if you will. So
yeah.
I bought a more expensive bike. I bought a better
Hmm.
bike, an actual trail mountain bike. Um, I don't know, like 6 months later, I broke something on that. Probably a wheel.
Mm,
Wheels are the worst. They're the most susceptible part of any bike, right?
yep.
Um, so then broke another part and realized like, okay, these things are going to keep happening. I can do what I've always done, which is replace the wheel or get a new, fix a spoke or whatever. Like I can do
Yeah.
those things. It's just going to keep getting me the same results. Um, Now this is where the analogy breaks apart a little bit, but like you've seen the mountain bike that I ride, like it is capable of what I'm asking it to do, and it doesn't break wheels anymore, right?
Hmm.
I don't break wheels, I don't break parts because it's an actual mountain bike made for what I'm asking it to do. There was a point in that process where I had to realize like what I know and what I've always done is not working. And
Mm,
I can keep doing those things and I'm just going to keep buying wheels and I'm just going to keep buying bikes that are essentially the same bike over and over and over.
yeah.
Or I can really get serious. I can learn what I don't know. I
Yep.
can learn what is needed and I can do that.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little longer and it's going to take a little more investment, but my goodness, like I haven't bought a
Yeah.
bike or a bike part in 3 years.
Well, and what you didn't say, you said it, but you didn't say it, that I think, will help make a connection for our listeners is that like you were able to understand that I'm playing a part in the results I'm getting
Yes.
and then I'm not and then the results that I'm not getting. So
Yeah.
I have to learn what is it that will make me be able to engage in this practice in
Yeah.
ways that are fulfilling and make me successful, right?
Yeah.
And you have to understand what are the things that are in my way
Yes.
that have not allowed me to this point. It's possible that the first bike could have functioned okay had you known there were some things that you were doing or not doing that led to the results you were getting, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and like the second or third bike, like that is that thing is what it was actually created for.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that that's another beautiful piece of what I heard you say in this is that I think there's beauty in knowing ourselves well enough
Yeah.
that we're able to actually do the things we were created for. You're created to be able to enjoy uh, mountain biking, doing trail rides, and these things. And there's some stuff that we don't know that we don't know about that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
your willingness to unlearn so
Yeah.
that you can learn and have the skill, because that is a skill. I just
Yeah.
ride a road bike that doesn't require a lot of skill
Some
until you find a curb like I did recently. Um,
different skills.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's a great metaphor, analogy, whatever you
Yeah,
want to say.
I mean, I think if we want to like if I want to close the loop back to the like learning these habits and why that's not enough, like I could have said mountain biking's stupid, right? I could
Exactly.
have said this bike sucks. This is a dumb sport. I'm just gonna keep buying these things, right? Like that's not the bike's fault. I was asking it to do something it wasn't made to do. It's not mountain biking as a sport's fault. I
Right.
wasn't setting myself up to do it in a way that was sustainable or enjoyable. I think the same is true when we learn these practices and habits that we just talked about, these like highly effective
Yes, sir.
habits. You know, it's not the habits. Like we can look and say they're not doing what they promised to do. Okay, well, what role am I playing? Am I
Yeah.
doing them fully? Am
Yeah.
I engaging in them in a way from my truest self? Like those sorts of things. I mean, that's maybe how I close the loop.
I think that's always it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Am I
100%.
able? Am I doing them fully? Am I able to do them fully? And what is in the way of me being willing to actually do them fully?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Let's take a really short break, and then we'll jump right back in.
sounds good.
Have you ever walked out of a meeting or left a conversation thinking, why did I just show up like that? Why did I shrink back or explode or stay silent when it mattered? You're not alone and you're not broken. You're likely reacting from a pattern that started long before that meeting ever happened. In their new book, Live Fully, Lead Authentically, Kurt Busch and Chris Godfreyson unpack the hidden second job so many of us carry, spending our days managing the anxiety, fear, and old stories that shape how we lead. Through honest stories and practical tools, they invite leaders to pause, reflect, and lead in a new way. Get your copy today at brimstonecoachinggroup.com/new book. Order now. This is your invitation to lead differently.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Chris, I have a question. I have one question for you. This is something we've talked about before, but I'm gonna fire your way and see what you got for us. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'm ready.
So we're in this room full of people that are identified as either current leaders or leaders of the future in organizations and in the community itself, right? And
Yeah.
when we get to them at 2:45 and we end with them at 4:30, they've been in the room all day.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in that room. Well, maybe not in that actually. I'm gonna use it in the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. Yeah. They've
Uh,
been doing the thing the
yep,
entire day. Yep.
yep. And they're going to do this for 9 months, at least once a day for 9 months.
Hmm.
Now, if somebody out there listening right now is doing that math, which I'm not sure, we didn't ask anybody to do math, but maybe they're
No.
doing math. They're saying these are effective leaders from these
Hmm.
organizations. And you said it before, these are not huge organizations. Most of these are highly successful, but they're local organizations,
Yeah.
right? They don't have a million people running around their facilities. What do you want to say to the people that are like, I can't give up that number, those 11 people or whatever. I can't give them up for a whole day for once a month for 9 months. I can't
Yeah.
afford it. I can't afford the cost of production, whatever it might be. What would you say to
Yeah.
them?
Yeah. I mean, think about that. It's like 8, 9 hours for once a month for 9 months. You're giving up 80 hours.
2 weeks?
Yeah. You're giving up that much time to your employees for the sake of their growth and development. And uh, I think, yeah, that the the production, the productivity, the leadership in the months and years to come will far outweigh that investment. Like uh, my wife and I owned a small business for in that community for more than 25 years.
Mm,
And we sold it in July. And the reality is that I think I just managed people for a long time.
yeah.
And we had projects to do, and we did those projects. Now, and I would train people on the way to do things. And then it got to the point where the people on the team, when we'd make a new hire, uh, one of those people would do most of the training. But
Yeah.
earlier in my I don't know business life, I would send people off to learn a little bit of to get some skill development, but there was
Yeah.
never any like pouring into for the sake of like really learning because the investment in things like we're talking about in like people development
Yeah.
will far outweigh whatever the expense is when they are able to like not when they get into an argument with a customer or
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not an argument, right? I mean, hopefully these people aren't arguing with, but when you have an encounter with another human being, like the statistics are alarming
Yeah.
around things like incivility, for
Yeah.
instance. Like
Yeah.
in the professional world, there's a $2 billion a day loss in productivity when we react to circumstances that are beyond our control. And so these companies, whether they realize it or not, they're investing in their people
Yeah.
around skills like that. And these soft
Yeah.
skills are not soft. They are the ones that will enable people to flourish in 20, 30, 35, and 55. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
the, I can't advocate enough for like developing the whole human being, not
Yeah.
just skills,
Come on, Chris.
not just skills, but in you're going to have people who live more fulfilled lives because they're able to understand themselves more fully, and
Yeah.
then that will enable them to lead more authentically, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just natural.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've alluded to that shift happening from an individual side or like an employee side. We've alluded to
Yeah,
this over the last number of episodes, but yeah, we really cannot say enough, like f to the employer, to the organization. We just can't say enough that, that paradigm or that way of thinking that says, I'm going to lose a little bit now. I absolutely, right? There is no
yeah,
free lunch. You and I would agree that if I'm
yeah,
going to invest in myself, I'm going to have to set time aside. I'm going to have to set, a room aside that is going to impact right now.
for sure.
Probably a different podcast where we can talk about the idea of thinking about now versus the big
Hmm.
picture, but we just cannot say enough like to shift that paradigm that says I'm losing now and I can't afford it. Well, what does it look like down the road, right? Like that is
Yeah,
going to make up for itself.
we know that anxiety is contagious.
Yeah.
Let's just think about anxiety for a moment.
Yeah.
If people can come to understand uh, why they are stirred up, when they are stirred up, or if they can feel it coming, if they become increasingly aware of that, they're going to be, let's take a bank setting, they're going to be less anxious with their coworkers. They're going to, and the anxiety will not spread throughout the entire
Yeah.
system, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can stop with me. I don't
Hmm.
have to get the whole system vibrating where,
Yeah. Yeah.
where the person next to me takes it on and then they take it to the break room and then all of a sudden it's spilling out to customers or to
Yeah.
yeah, Joe Public, right? It's the investment and the fruit in that investment will far outweigh that nominal financial
Yeah.
expenditure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, can I start to land the plane a little bit? Can I
Yeah, I
give a
would love
shot?
it if you would do that.
Yeah, well, I'm not a great pilot, so we're gonna give this a
Oh,
shot. Um,
don't sell yourself short, Judge.
thanks. Here's a question for you. It's a meatball question. You know, we talk about anxiety a lot on this pod, and especially, I mean, I think your analogy right there of how it spreads through a system is justification for the work of understanding
Hmm.
it, being able to navigate it. How do we do that with these groups? Like, what is the secret sauce of Brimstone Coaching Group and how we approach how people experience it and how people move forward with
Yeah,
it?
that's a challenging question to answer. And I think it's challenging because it sounds, I don't know, self-promotional. I don't like pushing myself.
And
And
simplistic.
yeah, and simplistic, right? I mean,
Yeah,
so the simplistic piece is that we are able to take challenging concepts that people might not be aware of, and we're able to talk about them in everyday language
yeah,
because we can share examples and stories from our own life. What people get from us is like this podcast, only probably even more personal, where here are the things, here's the stuff that we think you should learn, and here's why we think you should learn it.
yeah,
Because we're able to tell it in ways that connect. I
yeah,
saw I saw a high schooler connecting with what we were saying at this leadership institute, and I
yeah,
saw somebody my age connecting with it as well. So when you have a 40-year age gap between the participants in the room, the reality is that I think we are
yeah,
adept at being able to take challenging concepts and bring them to life. And then, because of the way in which we have learned, this is how we teach, and
yeah,
we give people opportunities to take in some information, but then also engage in some times of reflection. And in an hour and 45 minutes, that's not enough time
yeah,
to be able to really engage in transformational learning. But
yeah,
that's why
yeah,
we do this work over a longer period of time, over
yeah,
longer periods of time with groups, organizations, teams, etc. Right? What do you want to
yeah.
say about that kind of work with people?
Yeah, I don't know what else I want to say. I think you said it masterfully, Chris. I mean, I think I would reiterate. We know a lot of organizations just like the city of Rock Valley who are engaging in processes like this where there's already some sort of leadership learning in place. And we just want to reiterate that we would never ask an organization to invite us in so we can throw all of that out. I think what our secret sauce is we go in with organizations that choose to partner with us, and we help their folks. Yeah, again, just do the things, do the learning, engage in the learning, practice the learning in ways that are most full and most authentic.
Yeah,
So that organizations can get the most out of their investment, right?
right. I mean, so
Um,
every employer hired what they perceive to be good people.
mhm.
I don't think anybody, I mean, I remember hiring. I
Yes,
did a lot of hiring and I did some firing. The reality is I don't think we ever hire somebody that we don't want in our organization.
no,
But what's true in those processes is that normally we do not have a full picture.
yes,
Rarely is there a full picture. And
yeah,
therefore, it, when when things surface, if we have tools at our disposal to manage the things that our employer didn't see or didn't know about us,
yeah,
then I think that everybody wins. And so
yeah,
every leader who's listening to this podcast, go to brimstonecoachinggroup.com and schedule a call to say, how can we partner with you? Because we actually think that investing in your people is going to make their life better, which will make them better.
yeah.
They'll be more productive, they'll be better teammates. And yeah, It's win, win, win. And the reality is, like, we've given our lives to this.
Yeah.
And, and, and the reason we've done that is because our lives are so radically different
Yeah.
that we want that for other people. And I don't know, like, invest in yourself and invest in the people around you, and everything will be more fulfilling.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember who in my life said this once, but someone early in my development said, if you want a surefire investment, invest in people.
Yeah,
And I, I'm not sure that it's quite as simplistic as that little quip makes it sound, but I think in general, invest in
yeah,
people. That's
yeah,
not only as close to a sure thing as we're going to get, but it's also the most I think has the biggest return opportunity.
for sure. Thanks
Well,
for the conversation.
yeah, thanks so much, man. Great to connect. We'll see you next time.